Hello, Hector. Good evening. My name is Camila. I'm from Wilder, and I'm calling to share my paranormal story.
How are you, Camila?
This happened to me when I was about 12, just starting adolescence. At that time, we were expecting a sister at home. My mom was pregnant. They had made my room bigger, and I was still sleeping alone because she hadn't been born yet. And well, at that time, we only had one tube TV, which was for everyone. We all shared it. So I used to read a lot before going to sleep. I remember that night I was reading Mafalda, and when I noticed my eyes were starting to burn, I put the book down next to the bed, and when I bent down to reach for the lamp switch on the nightstand, I don't know why, I happened to look up at the corner of the room. Oh, the door was closed during all of this, right? When I looked up, I clearly saw an old man wearing a beret, a vest, a shirt, dress pants, and he had a mustache, gray-haired. He was staring at me intently. And when I tell you I saw him, it's not that I thought I saw him, I really saw him there clearly, and he was looking at me. This must have lasted. We made eye contact for 3 seconds. I automatically grabbed the blanket and covered myself. I didn't even finish turning off the light. I left the light on all night. And I didn't leave the room either, because to leave the room I had to go past where he was or where I saw him standing. So, well, nothing, that was it, and I never told anyone about it. When I was about 15 or 16, my grandmother, who always lived across from my house, passed away. And, well, we went to clean out her house, and while looking through photos, my grandmother is from Entre Rios, and I found an old photo where I'm sitting on my great-grandmother's lap. And next to me, I see exactly the man I saw that day in my room. Exactly the same, dressed the same way. I didn't know that I had met him at some point when I was just a few months old. In fact, until that moment, I thought he was the owner of the house we lived in, because it was a house we had bought from an elderly couple. But what happened was that I grabbed that photo, and when I picked up the photo, I automatically saw him and said, "That's the man I saw." He was actually my great-grandfather. So, well, I have the photo here. If you want to see, you'll recognize the gentleman because he matches my description. So, well, Hector, I love your show and I listen to you every night. A big kiss.
Sending you a big kiss. I have the photo and I also understand that it can be shown. Another, look at how the show started and it ended up being about signs in photos. Anyway, all of this was already arranged. I'll show the photo on social media. I'll show it on Trasnoche Paranormal. There's the full photo and the man is there too. And how amazing, Cammy's great-grandfather. That photo is pretty creepy, I must say. The photo has a paranormal vibe. You know how these old photos, when you start looking at old photos, I don't know if it happens to you, but old photos give me a sense of mystery. I get totally caught up looking at photo albums. Well, now I don't have any really old relatives anymore, they all passed away, but when I was younger, I used to go to the house of one of my dad's aunts, Aunt Dora. She had a candy jar. With terrible candies, poor thing. Hard fruit candies and a cabinet with many photo albums full of yellowed black and white pictures. And looking at photos was like seeing your own history, right? And who's this? Your great-grandfather. And who's this? And what creeps me out the most is that the people in the photos, obviously we're looking at photos of people who have all passed away, generally very old people, and their looks are strange. It's like when you look at a photo of people who have passed away, it's as if you're opening yourself up and showing yourself to the dead, right? It's like seeing, on top of that, whoa, this is really giving me goosebumps. It's as if the gazes of the deceased in the photo come to life and watch us, the living. As if they were saying something like, "We're waiting for you. Will you be coming soon? On this side, enjoy life." It reminds me of the scene from Dead Poets Society when Robin Williams, in the role of the teacher, he makes the kids look at the photos of everyone from the institution who had died, and he leans in close to each kid's ear and says, "Live. Carpe diem." Do you remember that movie? Did you see it? All right. Shocking. Yeah, the show started off strong, huh?